click, click. If you are new here, welcome. If you are not, welcome back. Hugs, hugs. Would you kiss? Would you kiss? I needed to, how do I put it in a YouTube friendly way? I needed to hit the tree. There you go. I needed to medicate. There you go. Anyway, guys. Oh my God, y'all. See, that's the tree slapping me back. Anyway, honey, let's hop right into it. If you would like one-on-one coaching with me, I'm going to start having more openings open up at the end of the month. I want to say around the 24th, 25th. You can go to www.lawofasssumptionprincess.com. And as always, please make sure that you read the disclaimer in full before booking. Forever and always, it will answer a majority of the questions that you have. It'll make everything easier for you. People will tell me that sometimes they go to the website and they cannot book. That is because my bookings are full. Anytime you cannot book me and I have not announced that I've gone out of town and that I'm out of office, it's because my bookings are full. So just keep that in mind. If you are not able to get a slot, keep checking, because availability changes all the time and it's just first come, first serve. It's like that simple, y'all. I can't hold slots. So when people get them, they get them. And when you come back and you see one open, snatch it up. Snatch it up, okay? Anyway, y'all, let's get into it. Let's talk about it, bro. Because this has been on my mind for a little itty bitty second. And I just really wanted to get this off of my chest because it was kind of like a revelation I had at some point in 2022. And that is that, you know, when you really sit down and you really are honest with yourself about the person that you have been showing up as for the majority of your life before you knew about the law, before you applied the law, right? You start to realize how a lot of the thoughts that you have are not even your own thoughts for real. They were thoughts that were pre-programmed into you. They were basically selected by other people. And you were an unsuspecting contestant, okay? And they were reflected onto you without you even having a chance to fight and choose whether or not you agreed. You know what I mean? Like, I really had a moment at one point in time where I sat down and I was like, you know, I feel like a lot of the beliefs that were ingrained into me at one point in time didn't even really come from myself. Like, the things that the world has told me was true were not thoughts that I conjured up myself, but we get to this place where we just subconsciously on autopilot buy into it. I tell y'all all the time, my favorite example is like the statement, like, all good things must come to an end. You know what I mean? And it's like you think about things like that and you can't even pinpoint who said that. Who even said that? I don't know. Like, it could be some white man from 300 years ago and people accepted it as true. And then because they accepted it as true, other people accepted it as true. And then it was just like a really bad game of whisper down the lane. This is true. We're all accepting these beliefs as true. And so we're going to create experiences out of these beliefs that we are accepting as true before we even have any proof to say that they're real. We're going to decide that they're real because somebody else said it to us. And so now we're creating our own negative experiences out of accepting this belief as true. Isn't that kind of like a mind fuck? Sit on it for a second. Like, actually sit on that shit for a minute, for real. And sit down and think about how you, in the past, have been merely absorbing a lot of the things that the world has told you on autopilot without giving it a second thought, even if it wasn't an experience you had beforehand, or you didn't even take a second to say, is this something that I really think is true? You just took it as, oh, this is what somebody else is saying, so I'm just gonna say it's true too. Do you feel like that's unfair? Do you feel like that's unfair to yourself? Because I'm gonna be completely honest with you. When I had this moment of realization, I felt annoyed. I felt really annoyed. And I felt like, you know, and it was just like one of those moments where it was like another reason as to why I'm so thankful for this law, because I felt like my personhood didn't even get a chance to decide. I'm like, these things, like I've told y'all before, even the way that society talks about women like me, people who look like me. I never felt that way about myself. I never felt like I was ugly or that I was too big or too anything. I always thought that I was perfect. I didn't start thinking those thoughts until I had got told them at one point in time, till I was fed them. You know what I'm saying? And even that, I continuously have revelations about that, because I look at myself in the mirror every day and I'm just like in complete amazement with every layer of my existence, every fiber of my being I'm enamored with. And it's something in my adulthood where I continuously just have this moment of can't believe the world tried their best to lie to me. Like, they really tried their hardest. And I still persevered through that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, how could I even look at somebody like me and be convinced that there's something wrong with the way that I exist? A sack of shit, right? And so I really want you to like digest this and sit on this for a second, because I think it's a very liberating thought and line of dialogue to have within yourself. Y'all know I'm a big advocate for hyperfixating on the right thoughts. That's why I talk about prompting yourself. That's why I talk about these things, because healthy dialogue with yourself is chef's kiss. Like, it is just so fucking, it's nourishing. It's nourishing. That's the best way I can put it, is it really is like fulfilling and enriching as hell to have these kind of moments of realization where you're breaking free of the limitations that were put onto you without your permission. You know what I mean? And think about this shit. Think about, okay, if I'm really, because who we really are is the version of us that gets what they want, that radiates at the highest frequency possible. That's how you were born. That's who you were meant to be. You were meant to get the things that you want. You were meant to receive your desires. So it's like, in retrospect, if that is genuinely who I am, if that is actually what I was meant for, I was meant to not come on this earth and struggle, not come on this earth and have everything be an immense problem like the world convinces you is true. I was meant to actually live a liberated, fulfilling, loving, nourishing, beautiful life. That's what I was actually meant for. So if that's actually who I am at my core, I wouldn't have these beliefs. These aren't my beliefs. These are not actually my beliefs. These are the beliefs of a limited 3D narrative that actually really has nothing to do with me, because this isn't just it. This isn't just like, we know this, right? If you're actively practicing law of assumption, I'm sure you know this is not just it. This 3D realm where everything is just super one-dimensional is not just it, okay? So why would I play by the rules of the 3D when it is limited, when it is so underwhelming in terms of how the world actually works, in terms of how life actually works? You know, a majority of the people in the 3D, they don't know about rewiring your subconscious. They don't know about self-concept, consciousness, awareness, law of assumption, manifestation. And you and I didn't just find out this information like a whoopsie. No, it wasn't by chance. We were destined. We were destined to have this law and to be able to apply it and utilize it in a way that is beautiful so that we can bring our desires to life. I love how in one of her recent videos, Naya said that when we're producing our desires, it is doing good for the world because we're showing up as the highest version of ourselves and we're encouraging others to do the same. And then we start bouncing off of each other. And then it's just abundance to go around. It's like a healthy universal ecosystem or something. Like, I think that is like really true. I think it's beneficial to you and everyone in your life when you get your desires, because that's genuinely who you are. I always tell myself this, especially as someone who has just been relearning the concept of God, what God means to me, and not necessarily what I was taught, again, growing up. But there was a woman on TikTok, and I cannot think of her name at the moment, but she said that you do not bear the image of a God who wants to see you oppressed. And I think that is such a beautiful statement. And I think that there's a lot of truth to it. And in moments where I feel emotional, where I feel a little strung out, I say that to myself. I remind myself, I do not bear the image of a God who wants to see me oppressed. And I do not have to continue to follow a limiting narrative that does not benefit me, that does not fulfill me, that doesn't propel me into anything else. It just keeps me in an endless cycle of what I really am not. And so, yeah, I just wanted to deliver that because I wanted y'all to like really just sit on that and permeate on that shit and be like, yo, a lot of the beliefs I have really are not my own. They're really not my own because they don't come from a place of fullness. They're not coming from a place of who God really is, what God really is. God is oneness. God is love. God is not continuous struggle and, you know, I gotta go through these things so that I can learn a lesson. Like, you can learn your lessons through love and abundance and happiness and fulfillment and wealth. Don't let anybody outside of you convince you that you can't. Again, you're the God of your own reality, yo. And you are allowed to operate off of your own belief system. Whatever benefits you is factual. And consider yourself lucky to be one of the people on this earth who will ever really know what it's like to be in a position where they can rewire themselves and show up as who they really are. It's a very blessed position to be in. It is a very blessed position to be in, to know about this law, to know about manifestation, to know about how your subconscious rewires itself when you start saying the right things to it. It's blissful. And I think we should use this time that we have on this rock and really realize that we are limitless in every way possible, and we need to unapologetically own it. So throw out all those old beliefs. They're so dumb. They are so dumb. There's so many things that I think about sometimes when it comes to the 3D, and I think about what people are saying, or I hear something that someone says, and I'm just so far removed because it doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me to think the way that the masses do, or think that that's normal. It's not. It doesn't have to be. Just because it's somebody else's normal, it's not going to be my normal. You know what I mean? Like, I am allowed to divert from that because I know that I'm better. I know that I am way better than what is being normalized, than what is being force fed to me. It's not my food. I'm not going to eat it. But yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. It really is kind of crazy to think about in retrospect. And it really makes you like, for me, it made me excited because I'm like, damn, there really is no truth to what the fuck they're saying. And it wasn't even me to begin with. It wasn't even, I was so, you get so caught up thinking that these negative thoughts are you and this limiting narrative is you. It was never you. It was not who you were. You were born into this world and they told you that shit. You didn't even get to choose. So how could it be you? How could it be you? And now you have the chance to choose now and forever. And you can even go back and decide that you were the motherfucker that could choose. But I did want to bring that to the table and just give y'all some food for thought. And take a realization at that. Take a real look at that shit and be like, wow. This is even more proof that I'm a limitless motherfucking intergalactic superstar, as I like to call myself. I'm one of one. I'm the only one. I'm number one. Type shit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you would like to, go ahead and follow me on Twitter at It's Her Universe. And also don't forget to follow me on TikTok and Instagram at TiffriahGrande. And until next time, you know that I love you. 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 I love you.